questions. I've got answers. Today we're going to answer the question, is it smart to sell your home in an election year? Stay with me and I'll answer.
You better get fired up!
So I'll tell you one of the biggest things I'm hearing over the last probably year and a half, especially because we've had such a contentious election cycle, is, Joe, I think I'm going to wait to buy or I'm going to wait to sell until the election's over. Now, for some of these people, they're just hesitant with basically everything in life. They want to wait. For others, they're literally looking at the numbers and saying the numbers are kind of scary. I think I'm going to hold off and see what happens. So I did a little bit of data searching and looked up the data back to 1987. And housing went up 4.84% on average in election years, 4.84. In non-election years, it went up 4.44%. So in election years, it actually went up 0.4% more, right? That said, in 2008, which was an election year, the market dropped 12%. That was a rough year. So what I pulled from this data was it really matters very little on the election. It matters so much more on where are interest rates at and what does demand look like and what's the economy look like, what does inflation look like, what does a lot of different economic factors look like. That matters so much more than whether or not we're in an election year or who wins. Who wins may impact long term depending upon their policies, their success with those policies. But for that particular year, I don't see any data to support that. So if I was talking to my daughters, and I always try to talk to you guys like I would talk to my own kids, I would say, listen, if you need to buy a home, if it makes financial sense to buy a home, buy a home. If it helps you to sell your home, sell your home. The difference between an election year and a non-election year is 0.4%. And when you look at the dramatic highs and the dramatic lows, in accordance with election years, they're completely random. They are more tied to other events, other things than they are to an election year specifically. I wouldn't focus on that at all. I would instead focus on what can I know about the market? And we don't know anything. The stock market hit the bottom, I want to say it was 2010, 2011. It has been going up ever since. And I remember in 2014 saying the market has got to pull back. It's been going up for so long. 2015, the market's got to pull back. 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. I'm still saying it. The market's got to pull back. It's been going up for so long. If I had pulled out of the market, now I'm talking stocks here, but I'll come back to housing. If I had pulled out of the market back in 2014, I would have missed out on thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of growth because I was fearful of a drop. And if you look at drops in the stock market, again, I'll come back to the housing market, any drop comes back and then it continues to grow. Even look at the 2008 drop, which is probably, hopefully, going to be the biggest drop we'll ever experience in our lives. It only took a couple years and you had your money back, assuming you hadn't pulled it out. If you pulled it out, that's when you got hammered, right? Housing is the same way. It goes up, and every once in a while you see little dips. We saw a dip in 2008. How long did it take to come back? A couple years, it was back. And most people live in their house for 5, 10 years on average, right? I want to say the average is 6 or 7 years if I remember correctly. So you're going to bounce back. And the odds in any particular year, let me see if I still have it pulled up. I don't have it pulled up. Let me, what did I look up? No, I'm not going to be able to look up. I don't even know how to look up history here. Let's see if I can look up history. I had oh, there it was right there. Okay, so this article right here, I'm looking back to 1987. So 87, I'm just going to say them, right? 1, 2, 3 years are up to 2 that are down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18 years are up to 2 being down. Okay, then we had 5 years that went down. So we're 18 to 7. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So over the last 37 years, we've seen 30 years of growth, 7 years of it coming down. What is that? I can probably do that in my head, but I'm not going to try. 7 divided by 37, that's 19%. So 81% of the time, the market's going up. 19% of the time, it comes down. And 100% of the time, it bounces back eventually. And it only takes a year, 2 years, 3 years. It doesn't take very long. So what I would say is make decisions based on whatever your motivating factor is, right? If you're getting divorced and you have a tumultuous relationship, get out of there. Get out of that relationship. If you've got a job that's going to pay you 50 grand more and it's 2 hours away and you're driving 2 hours every day, dude, sell your house and move down there. It makes sense. But if you're in a situation where you're just gambling and you're like, I don't know, should we sell to make money? But I don't really meet a lot of people like that. You know, people do that with stocks. Maybe they'll do it with collectibles like, you know, watches or cars or something like that. I don't see people doing that a lot with houses. I see investors going. If it pulls back, if they feel the pullback, not if they guess. I've never seen an investor guess at a pullback and stop. They keep going until they feel a little bit of a pullback, and then maybe they'll put it on pause for a little bit. So if your motivating factor says, I need to make a move, make the move. Don't be fearful. It's going to be okay. It doesn't matter if it's an election year or not. And if you don't need to move, don't say, hey, it's an election year. Hey, it's not an election year. I'm going to or not going to do it based on that. Don't make the move, right? Make the move that's best for you and your family, and forget, according to data, forget the fact that we're in an election year. Guys, have a fired up day. If you guys have questions that you'd like me to answer in the future, feel free to send them to me. You can DM them to me, put them in the comments here, and we'll absolutely put those questions up in the future. Guys, have a wonderful weekend.